One of the most frequently asked questions that I get from parents is about equipment. And they ask me, what shoe should my son or daughter get? How do I pick the right shoe? And today, this video is going to go into depth about exactly how you should pick a soccer shoe for yourself or for someone you know. It's going to go through all the important components of a soccer shoe and what you should be looking for when you enter a store. And I just want to make this clear that we are not talking about Adidas versus Nike versus Reebok. We're not doing any of that. Okay, so this is not a brand type advertisement or anything like that. We're really going to go to the specifics of what you should be looking for in a soccer shoe. So today I'm going to be talking about two pairs of shoes that I have. This white one is an older one, and this orange one is the one that I currently use now when I play. A little bit of history. Back in the olden days when I was growing up, we played a lot more grass fields. And because I grew up in Canada, there was a lot more mud in the fields, and now we play on a lot more turf. So back then, it was a lot more common for you to need better traction, and your shoe would sink a lot deeper on those rainy days. And because the shoe would sink deeper, this height is, and you can see the difference in height is pretty big when it comes to the toe. That would allow me to get under the ball a lot better while maintaining traction. But in today's game, because there are so many more turf fields, something like this is actually something that I would never recommend. And if a parent sees something like this, or you go to a store and you see a shoe with a very high toe, then I would immediately throw that out. So when we're playing soccer, and especially with the younger kids, it's going to be a lot tougher to get your foot under the ball for crosses, shots, than it is with just a smaller toe. So that would be the first thing that I would say that I would look for. Now, while we're talking about the toe, I just want to draw your attention, okay, to see how soft this is compared to how hard that is. And again, because that is a lot taller, it's also a lot harder. There's more material there. And the reason that's bad, especially for younger and newer players, and I'm talking about maybe 6, 7, 8, or even if you're just a beginner, it's going to motivate those players to use their toe. Because at the beginning, sometimes it's painful when we shoot the ball. And if you use your toe on a shoe like this, it's going to hurt. And what that means is that it's really not going to motivate the child to use their toe. But here, you're not going to feel it. So they're going to be more motivated to use their toe, and that's what we don't want as coaches. We don't want to motivate bad habits. Now, I do just want to draw your attention to this shoe over here. This is one of my really old indoor Adidas shoes that I had. And I just want you to look at where the laces are located, because some shoes will have a different location of the laces. And again, it's really for comfort. So for me, when I use that inside shot, when I shoot, when I cross, this I actually like to have better than I do for my laces. So if you're a winger and you cross that ball a lot, I might actually look for something with the laces a little bit more on the side, because this part right here is going to get a lot more action, right? Yeah, so that's another kind of tip that I would say for the laces that you should be looking for. Now, I do just want to draw your attention to this shoe over here. This is one of my really old indoor Adidas shoes that I had. And I just want you to look at where the laces are located, because some shoes will have a different location of the laces. And again, it's really for comfort. So for me, when I use that inside shot, when I shoot, when I cross, this I actually like to have better than I do for my laces. So if you're a winger and you cross that ball a lot, I might actually look for something with the laces a little bit more on the side, because this part right here is going to get a lot more action, right? Yeah, so that's another kind of tip that I would say for the laces that you should be looking for. So another thing that I want to talk about is the grip. Okay, this is a shoe that I randomly got. It was at an outlet mall actually, and I really liked the feel of the outside. Now it's really not comfortable on the inside, but that's a different problem. But one of the most important things that can contribute to a player's control is the grit of the shoe. So whereas this kind of has these little divots on it to create more impact when you receive the ball and the ball kind of sticks to your shoe, something like this, which is very smooth, doesn't really allow for the ball to stick. And one isn't necessarily better than the other because there are different situations where I wouldn't want the ball to stick to my foot, right? But if I was playing somewhere slippery, then maybe I would want something that would stick to my foot. If I was playing, again, in a big turf field, that's really not that important, right? So it just really depends on where you're playing. But that's definitely something else that you should be considering is the grip on the outside. So let's talk about the actual cleat part of it. And the cleats are obviously a very important part of the soccer shoe. So I want to talk about the different types. And what we see here with the outdoor shoe that I recommend for playing in the rain, and I mean, we play in snow sometimes in Canada, so that type of shoe is the smaller the cleat is, the easier it is for it to sink in. And sometimes that's a good thing that it can sink in to provide traction for quick movement. But sometimes, especially if it's raining, it can also get stuck there. So I love this shoe again for the outdoor when it's rainy and all that because the smallness digs in and then it's easier to come out. Let's talk about the cleat shoe and how that differs. You can see here it's a lot wider, right? And they're very small, and there aren't as many. If we were to count the number of cleat, right, there's always 4 in the back, but up here, there's a lot less, right? And the reason for that is because on turf, you really don't need that much traction. So, again, think about where you're playing. Are you playing on turf? Are you playing on a grass field? If you're playing on a grass field, well, is it going to be rainy? Is it not going to be rainy? Is it going to be a dirt field? Because a lot of those grass fields, the grass is already half gone on those older fields. So for me, I always have 3 pairs of shoes that I always carry with me. I always have my outdoor one. That's this old one. I have one that I usually play on turf. And then I have my indoor one as well. And with that indoor, again, what you're looking for for the bottom part is just something that doesn't slip, and we contrast that with futsal type. So this is for a gym floor, and you can see the difference in traction there as well. So I hope you got a lot out of this video and really learned which shoe is best for you, and when you walk into a store, what you should be looking for. There are lots of specialty soccer stores that you can go in, and they'll have a variety of different shoes that you can get. When I go into these stores, though, you have to understand that they're more expensive. You could probably find the same price if 2 shoes are in the same and one is in Sports Check and the other one is at a soccer specialty store. It's probably more expensive at the soccer specialty store. So those are other things to consider as well. But if you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.